Peru, 1532. High in the Andes Mountains stood one of the greatest civilizations in the world, the Inca Empire. Its roads stretched for thousands of miles. Its cities were engineering marvels. Its rulers commanded millions of subjects. At the center of this empire stood a powerful emperor. His name was Atahualpa. Atahualpa had recently emerged victorious from a brutal civil war against his brother. The conflict had weakened the empire, but left him firmly in control. He believed his greatest challenges were behind him. He was wrong. Far to the north, a small group of foreigners was moving through the empire. They numbered fewer than 200 men. They carried strange weapons, steel swords, firearms, horses. Their leader was a Spanish conquistador named Francisco Pizarro. Compared to the vast Inca Empire, Pizarro's force seemed insignificant. Yet history was about to take an extraordinary turn. When Atahualpa learned of the newcomers, he was curious rather than alarmed. How could such a tiny group pose any threat? Confident in his power, he agreed to meet them near the city of Cajamarca. The emperor arrived with thousands of followers. The Spanish watched in amazement. They had never seen such wealth. Gold ornaments glittered in the sunlight. Fine clothing displayed imperial status. The ruler before them commanded one of the richest empires on earth. Then came the moment that changed everything. As the meeting began, tensions rose. Accounts differ on exactly what happened next. But suddenly the Spanish launched an attack. Cannons roared, horses charged, chaos erupted. The Incas had never encountered cavalry or firearms before. Within hours, the unthinkable had happened. Atahualpa was captured. The emperor of millions had become a prisoner of fewer than 200 men. The Spanish now possessed something more valuable than gold. They possessed the emperor himself. Atahualpa quickly realized the Spaniards were obsessed with precious metals, so he made an extraordinary offer. In exchange for his freedom, he promised to fill a large room with gold. Not partially, completely, up to a line marked high on the wall. He also promised 2 additional rooms filled with silver. The Spanish agreed. Messengers raced across the empire. Temples were stripped of ornaments. Statues were melted down. Golden treasures collected over generations began arriving at Cajamarca. Month after month, the wealth poured in. The room slowly filled. Gold cups, gold jewelry, gold decorations, objects of incredible beauty and craftsmanship. By the time the collection was complete, the ransom had become one of the largest treasure payments ever recorded. The value would equal hundreds of millions of dollars today, perhaps even more. Atahualpa believed his freedom was finally near. He had fulfilled his promise. The room was full, the treasure delivered. Surely the agreement would be honored. But events took a darker turn. The Spanish remained nervous. They feared resistance from the Inca population. Rumors spread of possible uprisings. Some conquistadors argued that releasing Atahualpa would be too dangerous. Others wanted complete control of the empire. Eventually, a decision was made. Despite receiving the ransom, the Spanish would not free him. Atahualpa was put on trial. The charges were largely shaped by the conquerors themselves. The outcome was never really in doubt. In 1533, Atahualpa was executed. The emperor who had filled a room with gold to purchase his freedom never walked free. His death sent shockwaves through the Inca Empire. Without its ruler, resistance became more difficult. The Spanish advanced. Cities fell. Power shifted. One of the greatest civilizations in the Americas began to collapse. For the conquistadors, the treasure brought immense wealth. For the Incas, it marked the beginning of a dramatic transformation of their world. Today, the story of Atahualpa remains one of history's most astonishing tales. An emperor captured by a tiny force, a room filled with gold, a fortune beyond imagination, and a lesson that echoes through history. Sometimes the most valuable treasure in the world still isn't enough to buy freedom.